Germany is often hailed as Europe's economic powerhouse, a nation admired for its robust industries, technological innovation, and impressive export record. Its cities bustle with activity, and its financial centers are symbols of stability and prosperity. The country is famous for its world-class engineering, high-quality manufacturing, and a reputation for reliability that stretches across the globe. German-made cars, machinery, and products are seen as the gold standard, fueling a strong export-driven economy. Yet, beneath this impressive surface, a different reality is unfolding. A growing number of Germans are struggling to make ends meet even though they work full-time jobs. For many, the security once promised by steady employment is slipping away. This paradox, prosperity on paper, hardship in reality, has been quietly building for years. Gleaming storefronts and luxury brands stand in stark contrast to those who must carefully count every euro. Wages have not kept pace with the rising cost of living. Everyday essentials, food, rent, energy, are becoming more expensive, leaving millions in a silent struggle to cover basic needs. It's not just the poorest who are affected, the middle class is feeling the pressure too. Families who once felt secure now find themselves budgeting more tightly, worried about unexpected expenses. Nurses, retail workers, and skilled tradespeople, those who keep society running, are all feeling the squeeze. Their hard work is no longer a guarantee of comfort or stability. The promise that hard work leads to a secure life feels broken for many. Dreams of home ownership, starting a family, or even taking a holiday seem out of reach. People are cutting back on essentials, postponing important life decisions, and feeling increasingly anxious about the future. The sense of financial insecurity is spreading, touching all generations. This crisis is about more than just numbers or statistics. It's reshaping the very fabric of German society. Communities are feeling the strain, and the mood in neighborhoods is changing. When so many feel left behind, social cohesion and the stability that Germany is known for are at risk. Protests and public frustration are becoming more common, signaling deeper unrest. Understanding this paradox is crucial. Only by facing these challenges head-on can Germany hope to restore true prosperity and security for all its people. At the heart of Germany's cost of living crisis lies a simple but troubling reality. Wages just haven't kept pace with the relentless rise in prices. For millions of ordinary Germans, every trip to the supermarket or commute to work is a reminder that their paychecks don't stretch as far as they used to. Official statistics may show modest wage growth on paper, but when you factor in inflation, those gains quickly disappear. In real terms, many workers are actually earning less than they did a few years ago, despite working just as hard, if not harder. Even after small raises, the reality is that higher grocery and utility bills are eating up any extra income. Families find themselves scrutinizing receipts, cutting back on essentials, and feeling the squeeze at the end of every month. The inflation surge that began in 2022 hit households hard, and while prices may have stopped rising as quickly, they've stabilized at levels that are much higher than before, making everyday life more expensive for everyone. Essential workers, those in care, retail, and hospitality, have seen little to no meaningful wage growth. Meanwhile, high-demand sectors like tech or finance have pulled further ahead, widening the gap and deepening inequality. The result is that the very people who kept society running during tough times, nurses, cashiers, delivery drivers, are now among the most financially vulnerable, often struggling to make ends meet. With less disposable income, people are forced to cut back on spending, which in turn hurts local businesses. This creates a vicious cycle, fueling more stress, anxiety, and uncertainty about the future. For many families, tough choices have become the norm. Skipping medical care, delaying necessary repairs, or telling their children no to school trips and extracurricular activities. The emotional toll is as real as the financial one. The erosion of purchasing power isn't just a statistic, it's a daily struggle for millions, affecting everything from what's on the dinner table to how people plan for the future. This is more than an economic issue, it's a crisis of security, dignity, and hope. People are demanding change, and the pressure is mounting for leaders to act. Quietly but powerfully, the wage crisis is reshaping life across Germany, touching every community and every generation. Germany's low-wage sector is shockingly large, and its impact is felt in every corner of society. This is especially surprising for such a wealthy country, often seen as the economic powerhouse of Europe. Yet beneath the surface, 1 in 5 employees earns less than 2/3 of the median income, meaning millions are stuck in low-paid, insecure jobs with little hope of moving up. Many of these workers are the backbone of essential sectors like logistics, cleaning, and care. Despite their importance, they face precarious contracts, unpredictable hours, and almost no chance for advancement or stable employment. Labor reforms in the 2000s were meant to boost employment, but instead they expanded part-time, temporary, and so-called mini-jobs. This shift has trapped many, especially women and young people, in unstable, low-wage work with few benefits. While mini-jobs offer flexibility for some, for most they mean no social security, no pension contributions, and constant financial stress. Many workers juggle multiple jobs just to make ends meet. The divide between well-protected industrial workers and the rapidly growing service sector weakens labor's bargaining power. As traditional unions lose influence, more workers are left without a voice. Even with a national minimum wage, many still can't cover basic needs, especially in expensive cities where rent and living costs keep rising. Families are forced to make tough choices every month. The minimum wage, now €12.82 per hour, is a step forward, but for many, it still isn't enough for a decent life. Rising prices outpace wage increases, leaving workers behind. The low-wage sector remains a defining feature of the German economy and a key driver of the current cost of living crisis. Food banks and social services are stretched to their limits. For too many, work no longer guarantees security or dignity. The promise that hard work leads to a better life is fading. The system needs urgent reform to restore fairness and opportunity. Without bold action, millions will remain trapped in a cycle of low pay and insecurity, threatening the very fabric of German society. While wages stagnate, the cost of essentials, housing, energy, and food has soared. Rents in cities like Munich and Berlin have exploded, with many spending half their income just to keep a roof overhead. The energy crisis doubled or tripled utility bills, forcing families to cut back on heating and electricity. Food prices have surged due to global disruptions and climate impacts, making healthy diets unaffordable for many. Food banks are overwhelmed as more people struggle to afford basics. These rising costs hit low-income households hardest, eroding quality of life month after month. Unlike discretionary spending, these are unavoidable expenses. The dream of security is slipping away, not from one disaster, but from relentless everyday pressure. This is the new reality for millions in Germany. The cost of living crisis hits families with children, and especially single parents, hardest. Childcare, school supplies, and healthy food quickly strain modest incomes. Single parents, mostly women, often work part-time or low-wage jobs for flexibility, leading to lower incomes and future insecurity. Rising costs leave them with little cushion for emergencies. State support like Kindergeld helps, but rarely covers the true cost of raising a child. Children in these households face social exclusion and fewer opportunities, perpetuating cycles of disadvantage. Financial stress at home affects kids' education and well-being. Parents skip meals or forego essentials to provide for their children. The mental and physical toll is immense, with constant anxiety and exhaustion. This isn't the life families expected in a wealthy country. Addressing this crisis is a moral imperative. Every child deserves a fair start. Protecting vulnerable families is essential for Germany's future. The gap between Germany's wealthy elite and everyone else is widening. The richest 1% own a huge share of assets, while half the population has little or is in debt. Wealth generates more wealth, through investments in property, while ordinary workers face heavy taxes and little chance to build savings. With no wealth tax and low inheritance taxes, fortunes are passed down, entrenching inequality. For most, home ownership and financial security are out of reach. This inequality breeds frustration and erodes trust in institutions. The cost of living crisis is about more than prices. It's about a system that rewards the few while burdening the many. Tackling inequality is essential for a fair and stable society. Germany's social safety net, unemployment benefits, health insurance, and Bürgergeld, was designed to protect against hardship. But today, it's stretched thin, as more people need support just to get by. Benefits often fall short of covering real living costs, especially in expensive cities. Bureaucracy and stigma deter many from seeking help, and the system can trap people in poverty rather than lifting them out. For some, taking a low-wage job barely increases disposable income after benefits are withdrawn. The safety net now manages long-term poverty instead of providing a bridge to self-sufficiency. The fact that so many full-time workers need state support signals a deeper problem. The system was meant to catch those who fall, not to prop up a broken labor market. It's time to address the root causes, not just the symptoms. The cost of living crisis has forced policy solutions to the forefront in Germany. Proposals focus on raising the minimum wage to a true living wage and strengthening collective bargaining rights. Tax reform is also key, relieving low and middle earners while asking the wealthy to contribute more. There's renewed debate about wealth and inheritance taxes to curb extreme inequality. Direct action on housing is urgent, building more affordable homes, stricter rent controls, and expanded support for low-income families. Tackling energy costs means investing in renewables and targeted relief for struggling households. These ideas offer a roadmap to a fairer future, but require real political will. The time for half measures is over. Germany's cost of living crisis is a profound social challenge, not just an economic one. The promise that hard work leads to security is broken for millions. Stagnant wages, a vast low-wage sector, and soaring costs have created a vicious cycle. The social safety net is strained and can't be the long-term answer. Real change means raising wages, reforming taxes, and investing in affordable housing. Workers must have the power to bargain for fair pay, and wealth must contribute its share. This is about renewing Germany's social contract for the 21st century. Change requires collective action and solidarity. Everyone's well-being is at stake. The time for action is now. Germany's future depends on it.